Hey, super happy good morning to you all out there. Welcome to Coffee with Dr. Scott. We are going to wrap up the morning routine challenge today. And I'll wrap it up by telling you that my morning routine today was crap. I did none of the stuff that I normally do this morning, the day of wrapping up the show. We were alerted yesterday that there was going to be no school again today. So I kind of knew stuff was going to be a little bit different. I'm perfectly cool with it. I'll get it all in. I've got time. But we had a pretty lazy day yesterday. This was different than a snow day. Normally, a snow day, we'd get outside and go sledding or do something fun outside. But when it's negative 26 degrees and I think like negative 50 with a wind chill, nobody's going outside. The kids read all morning. They read for like 3 hours. And I finally decided to give them a little break. I think I've mentioned to you that they've been on a no TV, no screen, no phones, no iPhones, no iPads, no nothing since January 2nd. So we decided to go all out binge and watch an Ant-Man marathon. So we watched Ant-Man, then Civil War, the Ant-Man's in, Captain America Civil War, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then today I promised them that since it's going to be cold again, it was negative 31 this morning, we were going Thor marathon. So Thor the Dark World, and then Thor Ragnarok. So we got another fun day ahead of us. A little relaxation from the no screens, but again, with no school and no real activities, it seems like it's going to be okay. But that changed my routine. I'm going to go work out here right after I get done talking to you. So I'll get back into my routine, no problem. Anyways, today we're going to do a little recap. So I just want to go through all the things that we've talked about so far, kind of give you a quick little hit on them, something to kind of refer back to as far as you're going here. Hopefully, at this point, again, the goal was that your morning routine is solid. If not, if you're in this group, feel free to reach out to me. Reach out to me right here in the group. Post something in the group. Post something in the comments. Reach out to me through message, whatever. We do have a little online course, I guess you call it, a mini course that I put together last year during this that I'd be happy to share with you. I haven't marketed it much because I basically did everything all over again this time. But if you have any questions about your morning routine, please reach out to me. Anyways. Good morning routine starts with a good nighttime routine, right? So first and foremost, we talked about a brain dump. So that's nothing but sitting down. You don't have to sit down. You can do it standing up for all I care. But for me, it's sitting down in my chair, grabbing my yellow pad of paper, and just getting all stuff out of my brain for that day, and then writing down what I need to be thinking about for tomorrow night. Simple process. I got some really great feedback from that the first week we were doing this challenge from people who had never done it before and really got some benefit out of that. Second thing we talked about is how much sleep you get, how much sleep you need, and really trying to figure that out. Like, don't just guess. So for me, that means if I want to wake up at 5, which is what I'm doing anywhere between 5 and 5:30, before my alarm goes off at 5:41, I need to be in bed by 9. So for me, putting the kids to bed by 8, that 8 to 9 o'clock window is where I do my nighttime routine. Then 9 o'clock is where I go to bed. If I don't go to bed at 9 o'clock, if I'm up till 10 or 11, it does change the way I feel the next day, and I know that. So since I want to be productive in the morning, that's my time. I can give up some TV. I can give up some other things that I would normally do at night to make sure I get that time in. Number 3 was to find your flow. Day 3 was that, and that's to prepare for your next morning that night. And again, that can either be on paper, or for me, it's laying in bed, closing my eyes, doing a little bit of a relaxation meditation, and then consciously going through my day the next day to make sure that I know exactly what I should be doing and to kind of set it in my brain as a subconscious thought before. Woo, that happened fast, didn't it? That's better. Before I go to sleep. In order to wake up with that stuff in my mind and not have to rethink about it then. Number 4, we talked about reducing friction. And that's just a matter of the fact that, we got new goals, new year, new things that we want to accomplish. And anytime we do that, there's resistance to it. It's trying to slow you down, and you've got to fight it. So you got to reduce that friction in your life, get rid of some things that are slowing you down, as well as just fight through that for the first 31 days, which is why we got here today. That fresh start, again, always comes with resistance. Anytime you're trying to do something new, you'll know something will pop up, something will go wrong, something that you have to deal with, right? And it takes you away from the goal that you had. But you've got to fight that. You've got to reduce that friction, reduce that resistance, and focus on that thing for a good 30, 31 days in order to get the habit velocity that we talked about. Number 5 thing we talked about was snooze no more. Never hitting that snooze button again. It's not just bad habits. It's actually bad for your body. It's bad for your brain. Having that many rude awakenings in the course of a morning that you start to fall asleep and you wake up again is bad for your circadian rhythms. Is bad for your body. So do not snooze anymore. Those of you who use the snooze button, find a way around it. Again, for me, that became the sunrise alarm. Not that I snoozed much anyway, but I still didn't like having my phone, even though it was across the room. Being that the first thing I pick up, occasionally I check it for an email or whatnot, and that's not a good system. And number 2, I just didn't like there was no good soft wakening up tones, and the sunrise alarm clock has been great for us because, again, you don't wake up to a sound, you wake up to light slowly coming up. Anyways, no more snoozes. Number 6 was to hydrate to dominate. I already finished this one. So getting water first thing in the morning, like as soon as you get out of bed. Anywhere from 8 to 16 ounces. I know somebody commented on here before that 16 ounces was a magic number for some reason. I typically get 24 before I get out to the garage and start working out, and then I do my supplements and I have the gallon jug and that during my workout. But anyways, hydrate to dominate. We need to get that water first thing in the morning. Rehydrate our body after our long night's sleep. We've also now been, because it's been so cold out, we've been into using the humidifier to make sure that we're not as dry in the morning as it is. But still, lots of water in the morning. Number 7, we talked about purposeful hardship. So that was a matter of making things a little harder for a short period of time so that they seem easier in your habit. So the example I use the most is if you want to wake up at 5 a.m., maybe wake up at 4:45 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. for a week and commit to it. So then when you go to 5, it actually seems easier, but you can do it in anything that you do. Any kind of purposeful hardship. Nutrition, doing a fast before you start to eat clean. That purposeful hardship makes it easier to eat clean. Also makes you kind of stay in tune with it. So anything you can do in these habits to do some purposeful hardship beforehand is always a benefit because, again, it helps your brain to realize that this isn't that bad. That was bad. This isn't that bad. Number 8, we talked about journaling. Mine's still over there. So the 5-minute journal is what I recommend, but any kind of journaling just to get yourself in a good mindset of gratitude, a good positive mindset. You might have your goals written down in there as well, excuse me. But any kind of journaling that's effective for you. Number 9 was gratitude. So to get that mindset, to be thankful for all the things that you have already, especially if you're going to be asking for more things in the future. To me, working with the kids and whatnot, you just see that we're all the same way. We want. We pray or we ask or we have set these goals, but we're never thankful for. I shouldn't say never. We don't show enough gratitude for where we are. If you think back to where you were 10 years ago and where you are now, we got to show some gratitude for that. And that's the best way to get more in the future as well. So get yourself in a state of gratitude first thing in the morning. Number 10, day 10, we talked about stretching it out. So just to do some sort of stretching, even if you don't work out in the morning, I really feel like some sort of flexibility exercise is huge benefits beyond just preventing injuries. Again, it's good for decreasing stress, improving your digestion, your posture, obviously, all these things that we all know as doctors were good for us, and we don't do it enough. So some form of stretching, even if it's just 3 to 5 minutes, just to get that body moving, get those muscles limbered up, and go from there. Day number 11, we talked about one word, and that was setting your intention for the day. So having some sort of a daily affirmation or something. Again, for me, it's in the 5-minute journal, but I made it separate because it's so important. Some sort of focus for the day. I typically have a theme to all my years. Every year I have a theme of what I'm trying to create in my business. Oftentimes in fitness as well. But even for the day, again, the 5-minute journal kind of makes you go through it. And a lot of times my daily affirmation will be the same thing for maybe 6, 8, 10 days in a row. And then I'll change it because something else will pop into my head. So that'll be my focus for the day. But find that one word, find that one focus, find that one point that brings you back that will help you accomplish all the things that you want to accomplish today. Day 12, we talked about personal development as well as caffeination. So we talked about chilling out while you grab your first cup of coffee, tea, whatever it might be, and actually taking a little rest. Not away from your morning routine. It's part of your morning routine, but it's like a moment of silence. To sip that first coffee, to actually enjoy it, to not just grab coffee as you're running out the door. Again, whatever your drink is, if you don't drink coffee, that's fine. But instead of just grabbing it and running, to actually sit down and enjoy the process was the reason about caffeination. And again, a good thing to do during that time would be some personal development. So maybe reading a short chapter of a book while you're taking your first sip of coffee, something like that, where you're focused. You're not doing 10 things at once. That was the whole idea of day 12. Day 13, let's see here. Day 13 was a question more than anything else. It was, do you listen to music? Whether you're working out or anything else, do you have music? Do you have something that pumps you up? And if you do, that's great for you. It's just never really worked for me. When my daughter goes to play basketball, we've got to play 3 different songs. One is All I Do Is Win, 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 No Matter What, from DJ Khaled. She just loves hearing that song, and it pumps her up. Number 2 is a terrible song, and I don't play the whole song for her, but there's a song that says, I want it, so I'm going to go get it. And he's talking about bad things that he wants. But for my daughter, it's rebounds. So I just get in that mindset of I want it, so I'm going to go get it. No, there's 4 songs. Then she wants to hear The Champ by Nelly, even though it's my son's name. My daughter still likes to hear it. And then she wants to hear Call Me Maybe just because it's her favorite song and it pumps her up. So she gets into the music. I don't. If there's music on, for me, it's white noise. Again, it's to stop me from coming over here to the computer if I'm over there working out. But music's not my thing. I don't listen to it in the car. I like silence. I like to think. But it was a question for you. Is there something that does wake up your brain, work up your body, help you for movement exercise, help you for focus? If there is, use it. And I just wanted to open up that discussion. On day 14, we talked about developing yourself in reading. So again, for me, I read it while I'm doing my Airdyne bike for my warm-up. And it's usually just 5 to 8 minutes that I'm getting of reading in that time frame, but it's still a lot more than a lot of people get. I do some more reading at night as part of my 1-hour wind down time. So I have 2 different books because I'm too lazy to bring a book inside and bring it back outside. But some sort of personal development reading. I just saw this kid yesterday. I shouldn't go off on this topic, but I will. This kid yesterday on Facebook, he was like a teenager of some sort that does like a Tony Robbins type event for kids. And he was getting both great reviews and then terrible reviews. But anyways, he just talked about that his dad gave him $20 for every personal development book he read. And I'm like, that's a genius idea. So we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff with the kids. The kids read a lot. Again, without watching TV, they read a lot. But I'd really like to get them reading some of that stuff. So it doesn't come from me. Because, I'm preaching to them all the time at breakfast, how they can accomplish anything, all this stuff that I've learned over the years. But I think it'd be better coming from a book. So you should read as part of your morning routine. Day 15, we talked about maybe not reading, maybe doing podcasts or videos or some of that. Some sort of studying to improve yourself. That should be part of your morning routine. I know I talked about it yesterday in the Power Hour. That has to be set aside and has to be done to develop yourself personally as well as professionally. Otherwise, if you plan on doing it later, it typically doesn't get done. Just like most of my people that I know that go to the gym in the afternoon, most of the people I know that go to a class in the afternoon, they go because there's a community. But if you're just going to the gym by yourself, a lot of those times you don't go, right? You go through your day's worth of work and you get tired and you change your mind. If it's part of your morning routine, that stuff gets done. So podcasts, videos, reading, very important to have at least a little bit in your morning routine. And then number 16 was to get moving. Just some sort of physical activity. Everyone should be moving. It's whether you think you need to lose weight or you want to get fit or not. If you're as fit as you want to be, you should still be moving in the morning. And then we went through a few days of different kinds of motion. So on day 17, we talked about weightlifting and cardio. So just, kind of went through my deadlifting routine. Again, I lift something heavy every morning. Just deadlift off the floor. Leave that way on the bar. That's easy for me. But even if you're at home and you don't have any equipment and you don't want to go to the gym, it's something as simple as doing a minute's worth of burpees, jumping jacks, whatever it might be, jumping rope, those kind of things, just to get moving, get that heartbeat going. Whether it's a walk with a dog or a medium intensity run of some sort or some sort of sprint type method. And actually today I've got to do a 1-minute sprint on the rower as part of an indoor rowing league that I went, and I'm not looking forward to it. Like, that's just 1 minute of 100% all out going for a score, and that is going to burn. Anyways, anything. 1 minute workout we talked about where you're just going 20 seconds hard, resting, 20 seconds hard, resting, 20 seconds hard. That 1 minute worth of work can do a lot of really good things for your body by releasing those endorphins, getting you more clear and focused for your day, but also burning your metabolism all day long. Let's see here. Then we talked about adventure activities as well. So that was day 18. Talked about just getting outside. walking the dog, going for a hike, enjoying wherever you are. Now, I'm in Iowa, and today at negative 31, no way's going outside. But even on a good summer day, there's not as much adventurous stuff to do here as the mountains and waters I would like to be around. But we still find some things to do, whether it be mountain biking. I got the fat tire bike, so we'll go for some journeys there. A lot of walking with the kids. There's a lot of things to do, even in Iowa. So if I can do it in Iowa, I know you can do it wherever you are. Let's see here. Day 19, we started talking about nutrition. So what fuels your day? And this is something I feel like everybody needs to test. Like, what's best for you? Again, for me, I've found that keto worked for me for a long period of time. Then I felt like my metabolism started to slow down. So now I've added potatoes back into my routine. But again, since I'm cooking for the kids, it's always pretty easy for me.